Hello everyone, I am the Gaming Weasel, a veteran Warframe player that has been playing Warframe for over 8 years. I have 3000 hours in game and I reached the max rank legendary rank 2. I have unlocked 99% of the items in game, played almost everything, played every single quest and done every single activity in Warframe. Now, in today's video, as you might see by the title, I will be playing Destiny and talking about Destiny, comparing the two games in certain aspects. What do I like about Destiny and what I don't like? What do I think of the gameplay in general and the playstyle of the actual game? This won't be a review in any aspect. This is basically coming from Warframe and playing Destiny 2. Now, I have played Destiny 2 for the past 2 weeks of the date of recording this video, and I have also gathered around 80 to 90 hours in Destiny, and I've played most of the activities aside from raids. But in the meantime, I will try to get raids because I'll be doing this video in separate segments. So I have basically, I guess, covered almost everything in Destiny that you can. By the time that I uploaded this, Flightwall will probably out, so keep that in mind. Before anything, hope you guys enjoy, leave a like, a comment, and do subscribe for more, because you never know, maybe in the future more Destiny 2 videos, and if you're interested in Warframe, keep on watching. So let's get into the first segment of the video. So once you boot up Destiny for the first time, you will have a choice between 3 different classes, and that is going to be the Titan, which is of course the melee tank, of course, character. We have the Hunter, which is mobility, agility as well, and stealth, and then Warlock, which is our magician in Destiny. Now, I personally chose the Titan the first time that I was playing, and Titan is most of my gameplay in this game. Of course, I will be trying out the Warlock a little bit later on, and hopefully at the end of the video I will leave my sort of summary on the Warlock as well, and or in the description. And I have played the Hunter, and I do enjoy the Hunter very much, and he's quite cool. It's just I'm really bad at surviving in Destiny, so that's why I use the Titan. Nonetheless, you put into an intro quest. Now this is sort of the same principle as in Warframe as in most games. You just run around, learn the keybinds, learn the abilities, pick up weapons, shoot enemies, pick up the different weapons, shoot even more enemies, and then that's basically it. After you do that, you meet up with Shaw, you go to the Cosmodrome, which is the first point of meeting, sort of a semi-open world type of concept. Now here, you have this cool little vehicle that you get and you can move around. Here you can access public activities, you can find some chests, you can find some, material scattered around, and you can also, go to different types of things. So that's quite cool. After actually completing the full beginner quest, after 21 steps, you will basically access the tower, which is the main hub of Destiny 2. Now this is sort of like a relay in Warframe, but not really, because there's many relays in Warframe and there's only one tower in Destiny, which in my opinion is a really cool thing, because you only have to go to one place and you have everything you possibly need in one certain spot. So you go to the tower. Here is where you're gonna meet most of the characters that you're gonna be talking through, either through campaigns, getting bounties, doing strikes, raids, everything, and also collecting cool rewards from these guys as well. Everything is located in the tower in one neatly packed spot in the solar system, which I really like. So we have covered, I guess, the beginning quest. My honest thoughts, it's pretty plain and simple, so I don't really have much to say here. I honestly liked it. It was okay. I learned everything that I need to learn. Some of the things I didn't really remember just because I'm an idiot and I didn't really read it out, but the game does actually give you random tips throughout just playing the game as well, and guiding you through the main menus, which do get confusing for me sometimes, F1 and also tab, but that's just my old brain trying to figure everything out. But nonetheless, Plus. Whilst we're on the topic of a gameplay and the game itself, let's talk a little bit about the graphics and then, of course, the main thing, gameplay. The gameplay, of course, the most important part of any single game. Now, in Destiny 2, we're going to be starting off with the basics here. We have, of course, 3 classes, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video: Titan, Warlock, and Hunter. Each of these have a certain subclass, basically corresponding to sort of elements and elemental damage, and of course here you have many different mods to put on your abilities and, you know, a little bit different abilities on your subclasses as well. How do these feel? Well, on the Titan, for example, I've tried out the most. I've tried Solar, Arc, and also Void. And honestly, I've enjoyed all 3. I've, you know, watched some videos, created some setups, and I have to say everything feels incredibly well. Your 4 abilities, your 3 abilities and your ultimate synchronize very well. Of course, they can be even influenced by certain armor pieces that you have, or for example weapons that you have, and I have to say the general ability use in Destiny 2 is incredibly fun. They do all sorts of cool different things. They do, of course, the grenades are never the same. The melee abilities of the Titan are never the same. The same goes for the ultimates as well. Now, of course, weapons and armor. There's many weapons types and armors as well, and different types of mods on those weapons and armor pieces that you can put on as well. Now, with the release of Lightfall, there's of course going to be new weapons and the new armor pieces that are going to be, for example, meta, or just new armor pieces and weapons in general. And I played a little bit of Lightfall, just, you know, I guess dabbling inside of Lightfall when it came out a couple of hours ago, and I've quite enjoyed them myself. I haven't purchased the DLC, but in general it is very nice. Now, matchmaking. Matchmaking's pretty good. In most missions and most activities you will have matchmaking. You'll play with random players, and honestly, in my time of playing, I haven't communicated with one player. I've tried many times, but I haven't. In general, it feels really nice to play with someone to help you out a little bit, and also just makes it much more enjoyable. Now, of course, you have campaigns. Campaigns are a little bit of a different beast. Now, campaigns last a little bit longer, not incredibly long. I have personally completed the Witch Queen campaign. I have really enjoyed the Witch Queen campaign. I played it on normal difficulty, you know, made through it. Interesting plot twists, interesting storyline as well. I loved the Witch Queen. It was incredibly fun. Lightfall, of course, got released, so I played the first mission of that. It was a really good first mission, quite enticing, and honestly really fun. And honestly, campaigns can reward you with pretty good loot as well. Now, there's many different mission types as well. You can play Vanguard missions, you can play Gambit, Crucible, and loads of different things inside of course, Destiny 2. There's of Eternity, you have open worlds with certain activities to do on them as well, and many different vendors which you can purchase bounties from and get cool little rewards, and of course experience in the season pass. And of course, there's a season pass, costs 10 euros, $10, whatever, same difference. And it's pretty cool, plain and simple. You know what a battle pass is. There's many different battle passes in many different games, and you get cool little rewards once, of course, you're completing certain battle pass levels, and you can complete them honestly pretty easily just by doing bounties for certain vendors, which makes it really nice. I have to say, Destiny 2 feels like a game very rewarding when you actually do something. For example, when you complete like a bunch of bounties and you forget to actually collect them, when you collect like 5 or 6 at once, just seeing that bar of XP just go up and up and makes it so satisfying, and seeing all the loot on the side of your screen makes it very satisfying. Now, of course, Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit, all 3 of these have their certain vendors. So does Theirs of Eternity or Dreaming City, for example, or any sort of open world. They usually have their own vendor, which of course, as I said, you can purchase bounties, maybe some little quests, maybe, just maybe, and also just do activities for them. Now, Vanguard is basically PvE. You come inside with 2 random players and you do that PvE type of mission. Depends on which strikes you get, and then you complete them, pretty plain and simple, couple of steps, and you kill a boss at the end and you get a chest which drops you rewards, and when you collect those rewards, again, really satisfying. So I love Vanguard a lot. Actually, Vanguard is the mission type that I played the most. Of course, we have Gambit, which a lot of people don't like, but I personally do. Gambit is PvP, PvE, so you collect a couple of little pieces, deposit them, a boss summons, you kill that boss. In between that, of course, you have enemies on the other side doing the same thing, and they can go through a portal, and you can as well, on the enemy side, and kill them, reduce their points, or just increase the boss's health once you kill an enemy. So really fun gameplay in my honest opinion. I really do love Gambit, aside from, of course, you know, that's the point when someone crosses and kills you, and then the boss gets healed and they win and you lose. But Crucible is something that I adore. I love PvP in Destiny 2. Of course, Crucible PvP, there's many different, I guess, little tinier missions. So you have competitive, you have mashup, you have 6v6, 3v3, free-for-all, just kill everything, kill everybody, and the weapons and armor of pieces that you can use are the same as in, of course, the PvP, or I guess PvE type of game modes, but they're, you know, damage is a little bit reduced, the effects are a little bit reduced as well. But PvP in Destiny 2 is incredibly fun. I've noticed a lot of sweaty players in Destiny 2 in Crucible, but I've noticed a lot of, you know, poo-poo players like me, and I think that Crucible is the perfect PvP inside of a looter shooter like this. I think no one has done it and can't do it better than Destiny 2. Warframe, if they tried, maybe, but honestly, I think nobody plays PvP inside of Warframe, but that's just me. I think there's like that small dedicated conclave player base. Now, of course, you have many different types of bosses and enemies, which makes it interesting. They have different armor and shield values as well, and armor types and shield types, so makes it quite fun. Of course, aiming for the head is always going to be a critical hit. That's pretty plain and simple. As I said, guns are incredibly fun and versatile, and you have pulse rifles, auto rifles, submachine guns, you have fusion rifles, heavy grenade launchers, energy grenade launchers, small grenade launchers, big ones, small ones, so on and so forth. Many different variants, and of course 3 different types. So just like base, I guess, a weapon, then you have your special ammo, and then your heavy ammo weapon, which of course you do need to collect throughout the gameplay. And the bosses are quite fun. As I said, they have a little bit of gimmicks as well to make them not just bullet sponges and kill them in like 1 or 2 hits and just basically continuously shoot them. Makes it very interesting. Some can, for example, do a solar beam that constantly does damage to you and kills you if you don't find cover. Some you need to, for example, you know, bring down to half HP, then they generate a couple of, I guess, shields, and you kill those. Really cool stuff. Now, of course, you do have, alongside that, raids and dungeons. The only thing that I personally haven't tried in Destiny 2, but these take longer, you need a dedicated full squad, and the communication is key, and that's why you need, of course, a full squad. This is what makes Destiny, in my honest opinion, alongside the incredible campaigns. Destiny's 2 raids and dungeons are basically endgame, of course, makes sense, and this is something that I adore, of course, Destiny 2 for. Personally, even if I haven't tried it, raids and dungeons in general are incredibly good endgame. Warframe doesn't have them, and it would be incredibly good if DE would please put them out. So, in general, I haven't tried them. When I do, I will probably or just put something in the description down below, or put it in a pinned comment down below this video. But raids and dungeons are definitely incredibly fun. Of course, we have, you know, these open worlds. So if you, for example, let's say you go to the dreaming world, and or for example you go on Mars, you of course have these open worlds with their vendors, with their bounties themselves, and you have like patrols, you have community or public events that just appear on the map. You go there and you do a certain objective, and random players can just join in without any cutscene, without anything. They just join in, you do that certain activity, you get the loot chest at the end, you get satisfied, everybody gets satisfied. Incredibly good. You have lost sectors as well, and you have chests scattered around that open world which you can go around and collect. Incredibly fun. In my opinion, I wouldn't say that I adore these open world types of things in these games, but it is fun nonetheless, and gives you something to do in the downtime of waiting for some awesome pinnacle or legendary gear. Of course, there's a Eternity, really fun game mode as well. This is basically like a game show type of thing. You get random enemies, and of course you can use your abilities and your weapons to kill these enemies, making it really incredibly fun and very rewarding at the end, especially if you get like that bonus round from the magistical horse, and you get basically 4 chests at the end, and when all of that loot pops up, oh baby, that's what I call feeling rewarded inside of any game. I actually really do love Dares of Eternity. I play it like all the time because it's incredibly fun. But in general, I do love the gameplay of Destiny. The gameplay of Destiny is incredibly fun, the characters are really nice, and of course the subclass is incredibly good. The weapons feel incredible to use and very fun as well. When you kill something, it feels like you actually killed it and not just like it flops like a dead fish. I'm not saying that Warframe does that, but nonetheless, incredibly fun. So, to summarize, gameplay incredibly fun and very enjoyable and very rewarding, which is the main factor. And of course, now we're gonna move on to the last bit of this video, the good, the bad and the ugly. So I guess let's go there. Let's talk about the good, the bad and the ugly in Destiny 2. Now, as most of you may or may not know, in Destiny 2 compared to Warframe, you have DLCs. Yes, downloadable content, and of course you do have to pay for it. Now, in most situations, there is a other way of getting it other than, of course, using the platform. I'm not gonna advertise those ways, but you can get at lower prices, and of course, they are on sale sometimes as well. Now, this is sort of gated content in Warframe. I have just played Lightfall, and I started playing Destiny 2's Lightfall a couple of minutes earlier as I'm recording this video, and I've played the first quest, and that's basically that point where you have to stop if you don't have the actual DLC itself. Do I like this premise? Well, I honestly don't really like this premise. I completely understand they need to make money. Now, cosmetics in Destiny 2 are pretty big. There's a lot of cosmetics to actually be purchased in Destiny 2, and I did purchase one cosmetic armor set for my Titan, which cost me around 10 euros, but honestly, for a game this size and this good quality, I have to say I completely understand the premise of DLCs. Now, am I willing to pay right off the bat, let's say $40 or $50 for a DLC? Sadly, no. I don't really want to, for example, purchase Lightfall at this moment. I will purchase it maybe later down the line, but in my opinion, I don't really like that it's gated so much. Maybe, you know, let's say release 2 or 3 big DLCs like Lightfall and the Witch Queen was, you know, at a cost, and then maybe something at a lower price range for some people that want to access certain things. Because, for example, right now one of the biggest gameplay aspects that I cannot unlock is Strand, because I need to complete the Lightfall quest. Or at least to the best of my knowledge. Maybe if I'm wrong, leave it in the comment section down below. Now, well, also a couple of things that I really do not like. Now, you need a lot of external apps for Destiny 2. Personally, I played Destiny 2 Season 19, Season of the Earth, mostly just doing the same things over and over again. I couldn't really play raids because I didn't find anyone to do them with, and I couldn't really do anything other than, because I finished the campaigns, I basically done everything and I was grinding my power level. And I think that you shouldn't really need a lot of external app usage for a game. Now, this might sound a little bit cynical because Warframe does require some external apps as well, but they're not as, I think, heavy used as Destiny 2's are. Now, there is a tutorial in the game, of course, and it helps out a lot, and there's a lot of pop-ups that will help you out a lot. Now, if you're, for example, new player, you might ignore them or just completely, I guess, you can't really miss them, but let's say miss them because they're on the bottom screen, covering literally the whole bottom fourth of your screen, so you can't really miss them. But I guess a little bit more detailed would be very nice, and that is the same thing that the Warframe actual player base has a lot of issues with. A lot of players quit Destiny 2, Warframe, because there is no real tutorial to help them out, and that's why we YouTubers make videos on how to do things in Warframe, because Warframe doesn't do it itself. Now, of course, I have to say the good sides of the gameplay is simply amazing. I love the gameplay. The gameplay is incredible. The abilities of your classes are nice. Your, of course, classes themselves are incredibly well done. The weapons feel very good, unique and fun to use, especially when you get random mods. It is always nice. Of course, I do hear a lot of people spending more time in the actual orbit than just playing Destiny because they're figuring out which is good, which is not because of the mod, but honestly, I have to say the gameplay is incredibly good. Now, another good side is, of course, there is a lot of things to do. If you're a Warframe player, for example, or just a random player that joined Destiny 2 at this, for example, moment when Lightfall dropped, you have tons and tons of things to do, and you're not gonna get bored at all, because of course you have something to do. Now, raids and dungeons are also an amazing part of this game. This is something that Warframe truly needs to make it a little bit better, because raids and dungeons are something that you can always do with 2 or 3 or 5 or 6, I think 5 is I think the limit, with your friends, and just play it and just do, you know, devoid a couple of hours off of everything and just go do a raid, do a dungeon, and that's basically it. Have fun with your friends, enjoy yourselves as well. Now, there is a battle pass system as well, so keep that in mind, and in my opinion, I have to pay $10 to actually access it. I don't really mind. There's a lot of battle passes in many different games and you have to pay $10. I mean, yes, in Warframe we have Nightwave, which is of course free completely, and you have to do nothing, just do missions and complete it. But you know, the rewards could be a little bit better, but that's almost, you know, right for every single battle pass. In general, I think that Destiny 2 as a game is completely fine. It is amazing in many of its aspects. The DLC thing is, you know, a little bit off-putting to me, but for some people it may not be. Of course, you can buy like season passes, which basically for 100 euros you get Lightfall and you get like many different things, so you can do that as well. So if that sounds, you know, maybe convenient, you could do that as well. But DLCs are off-putting in my opinion, but I completely understand the premise behind them. So to sum everything up, how do I as a Warframe veteran player feel about Destiny 2? I really love Destiny 2. I'm not a person that's gonna play it non-stop, because of course I love my Warframe. I'm never gonna leave my Warframe behind. Am I ever gonna make videos on Destiny 2? Could be a chance, of course, but in general I completely understand the popularity, I completely understand the player base of Destiny 2, and I completely understand why people play this game, because it is incredibly enjoyable, feels incredibly rewarding when you get something. It doesn't matter what it is, it can be like a blue item, an uncommon item, and you're still gonna feel rewarded because of the noise, the actual like bang bang bang, look at you, got this, wow, so cool, you know. I completely understand that, and I really do love the premise of Destiny 2. The story is incredible, the gameplay is incredible, the graphics, I really do love the graphics, and it's well optimized, I have to say that. And basically, in general, if anybody wants to play Destiny 2 as a free-to-play player, you definitely can. You're gonna have a couple of things that you're not gonna be able to access without purchasing a DLC, but in general, you're gonna get, let's say, 70% of the content unlocked, and of course, the other 30% is gonna be campaign missions and certain little, I guess, activities that you will not be able to do. In general, Destiny 2, my personal recommendation, try it out. Maybe you even end up playing the game for a long-term actual game session, or even many hours and days and so on and so forth. Maybe even purchase some DLCs. Destiny 2, a really cool game, and the Warframe does have a couple of things that can definitely look into Destiny 2 to make Warframe a better game. This has been the Gaming Weasel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit longer video, and of course a Destiny 2 video, and if you guys did, do leave a like, a comment, and do subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one.